They told us giants are just myths. They told us dragons were fantasy. And then they fed us the cartoon lie of dinosaurs. Creatures no living human has ever seen. Fossils discovered by the same institutions that rewrite history and sell it back to us. But what they can't hide is what lives in the memory of the people. The elders, the grandparents, the bloodline. In Southeast Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, there are stories that haven't died because they're not stories. They're accounts. Truths passed from mouth to mouth. My wife is Thai, and her grandfather had one of these encounters, a face-to-face meeting with a giant. Not in ancient times, in the recent past, when Thailand was still mostly forest, mountain, and dirt paths. This was before the globalist machine laid down roads and wires to sterilize the land and erase its memory. You see, only 50 years ago, most of Thailand wasn't even mapped. The villages were cut off. People lived close to the earth, and closer to what used to be, and they saw them. Giants, towering beings, human-like, but bigger, stronger, not hiding under the ground or in some faraway cave. They were in the forests, the hills, watching, waiting. These giants weren't the mutated trolls of European fairy tales. These were real beings, walking legends with enormous stature and deep knowledge. And the people of Southeast Asia knew them. The Khmer Empire spoke of Yaksha and Asura, massive, godlike beings with immense power, both protectors and destroyers. In Laos, they call them Nyak, spirits, demons, or giants, depending on who you ask. In northern Thailand, the old people talk about them like neighbors, not monsters, not myths, people. And let's not forget the Naga, massive serpents, dragons of the rivers, said to still slither the depths of the Mekong. Are they not real just because the Western textbooks say so? These cultures weren't writing Harry Potter stories. They were describing what they saw, what they lived alongside. They built temples, carved statues, and passed down warnings. Why? Because the giants were there, and some still are. But here's the truth bomb. This doesn't just tie into local myth. This connects directly to Tartaria. All over Southeast Asia, you'll find ancient buildings that don't make sense. Giant stone steps, massive doorways, infrastructure too advanced for the people we've been told built them, just like the rest of the world. Old Siam had Tartarian architecture, buildings that were there before the colonizers showed up. Just like in Europe, Australia, America, the old world is hiding in plain sight. We are walking through the ruins of a civilization they want us to forget. Giants were part of Tartaria. They were the builders, the knowledge keepers. Some say they were hybrids, part divine, part human. They helped build the canal systems, the energy grids, the ancient cities we now call ruins. But after the last reset, after the mud flood, after the global cataclysm that buried it all, they were hunted, wiped out, demonized. Now think about this. Why did the Western powers suddenly take so much interest in Southeast Asia during the 1800s and early 1900s? Why all the missionaries? Why all the wars, colonization, and conversion? Because there was something there that had to be silenced. Knowledge, architecture, beings, giants, dragons, Tartarian power still echoing in the hills and rivers. They couldn't let that continue. So they rolled out their fake history, sold us dinosaurs, creatures they fabricated in bones and Hollywood movies, distractions, because if you believe in dinosaurs, you'll laugh at giants. You'll ignore what your grandparents tell you. You'll look down at your own land and believe the answers are in some museum in London. They told us evolution was truth, that humans got smaller because we got smarter, that giants couldn't exist because physics. But those same scientists will tell you the Earth was full of 60-foot reptiles with bird hips and feathers. What a joke. They needed a new mythology to bury the old one, so they replaced the giants with lizards and animated skeletons. But in Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, the memory never died. It's still alive in the temples, in the jungle, in the whispers of the elderly. My wife's grandfather wasn't hallucinating. He wasn't telling a fairy tale. He was speaking a forbidden truth. A truth that threatens the whole fake narrative of modern history. Giants were real, are real. They didn't just live in the Bible or Norse myth. They lived, and maybe still live, in the forgotten corners of Southeast Asia. Ask yourself, why are the oldest statues in Angkor Wat 3 times the size of a man? Why do so many ruins in the jungle look like they were built by someone 12 feet tall? Why are there traditions of giving offerings to the mountain spirits that are described as giant people? Because they were real, and the governments know it. That's why they've sealed off parts of the forests. That's why the mountains have restricted zones. That's why development always follows sightings. To build over it, to wipe the memory clean. They want Southeast Asia sterilized, McDonald's, concrete, Wi-Fi towers, to overwrite what the Earth is still trying to whisper. But the stories remain in families, in songs, in carvings, in blood, and the truth is rising again. We are not living in the modern world. We are living in the aftermath of a takeover, a deception, and the giants of Asia are a key to unlocking what we've lost. Don't believe the textbooks. Believe the elders, believe the ruins, believe your eyes. The giants walk this land, and some say they still do.